ഇതാണ് extreme level. അകത്ത് inner core. ഇത് peripheral. Annamaya Kosha. This is Ānandamaya Kośa. The Ānandamaya Kośa is the sheath of Ananda, joy. Ānandamaya Kośa is sheath of joy. This is the innermost core. So Anandam is there inside every individual, and when we are projecting it outside and seeing the beauty, and Anandamaya Kośa gets stirred. Whenever you happen to come across something which is very beautiful, it stimulates the Ānandamaya Kośa. This is there, but it is not manifesting. When it comes in contact with beauty, it starts to become stimulant. So, it creates, when it starts to get into that phase, joy will come. Then heightened joy. Then if you stay there for longer, celebration. So Anandam is working in three ways. One, simple joy. When you see something beautiful, you start to feel good and joyful. Something beautiful. And beauty depends upon how you view it. But when you see something very beautiful, you start to become joy. When joy comes, you cannot remain in long distance and looking from long distance. Unknowingly, you will walk towards the source of joy, which may be the Nila Kamal, as we said. And you want to, because it is some force that is dragging you closer to the object of beauty. You cannot resist normally. Unless you are a great observer, you cannot resist. And then, why you are going closer? You want to get more input from that. And to make you in a higher level of joy. You have seen it is beautiful and it drags you closer to the object of joy, and you are now closer. When you are there, closer with this, the joy is rousing more. And when that is happening, then you cannot stay there. You have to come and touch it, feel it, smell it, taste it. These are all modes that are available for you to become one with that. This is the force of beauty. And the force of beauty is working in your Ānandamaya Kośa, which is innate in every being. Our deeper core is Ānandamaya Kośa. When Ānandamaya Kośa gets stimulant, then you are in a state of celebration. Joy, heightened joy and celebration. When you are in celebration, what will happen? You become one with that. In the sense, your mind will be fully occupying that. There will be no room for anything else in your mind. In that sense, you become that. Ecstasy. Idana ecstasy. You forget yourself completely. When you forget yourself completely and occupying only this, that is how you become that. There were so many other things in the mind, but now everything in the mind becomes inactive and this alone becomes active. So in that moment, you are that. Identified with that. And so as you have forgotten all your troubling things for the time being, you get into joy. There are a lot of troubling things are there in the mind. And that is shut down now when Ānandamaya Kośa comes up. When Ānandamaya Kośa is working, you become a celebrant for some time. And then following that, if you are not vigilant, what it is doing inside you and what is the comfortable position that you can take, all these things we may forget because of the joy that you gain out of that. So again next day you go there, or you try to take the Nilkamal with you. You bring it to your home and you try to recreate something there. If it stays there, it will stay there maybe at least one more week. But when you pluck it and bring it into a flower vase and keep it in your house, 2 days it will die out. Well, our attention goes to something else. So Ānandamaya Kośa is the deepest core of all beings, and to get stimulation for the Ānandamaya Kośa, you have to expose yourself to the beauty of things. But the problem with that is we get entangled by that beauty. And there if the practitioner or the sadhaka, if he understands that this is the outcome of this, so I can continue to enjoy without getting possessed by that, or without getting the idea of possessing it. So the celebration continues.
External force more than stimulating.
ഇതെല്ലാം അഡിക്ഷൻസ് എല്ലാം അങ്ങനെ വരുന്നതാണ്. Because it gave a great stimulation and forgetfulness of the heaviness of life. So you feel that it is happening from that drug which you have taken, and next day you go there and take the drug. But it is not the drug which is actually creating this thing. It is there in your mind, and at a particular condition, when you generate that condition, it got stimulant. Then it becomes an addiction, and then you cannot get out of the addiction. That's a problem.
The joy that we got from a flower the first time, the same feel cannot be obtained the second time with the same flower. And the second one is the same joy cannot be obtained from a different flower. Is that?
It is like that, because when you are seeing something beautiful, as in this case, seeing something beautiful, you become joyful. You don't know what it is. So you are trying to explore this. You have explored it. And then you start to get the feeling that I know this. Your interest was to explore and to become one with that. So on the way, people start to feel that I have understood it. So what is the purpose of understanding it again?
So the interest goes.
So interest goes. But the interest could be sustained. If the idea which is coming to possess it is gone, then the beauty remains as it is. You will be very relaxed. Every time when you see, you feel very relaxed. Now even the knowledge you don't want to possess. And so you come closer, you feel joy, and then you have the freedom to actually leave it as it is, so that it can survive there. You can survive in your home. So it is there existing. Tomorrow you go there, you see it, you enjoy, you come back. But that is not the tendency of animals. Animals, including human beings, when they see something very beautiful, they wanted to get it for themselves.
If it is not there also, we should not get any sadness.
Yeah, but we will get. And the feeling of possessivity, when it comes, the fear of getting dispossessed also comes along with that.
It is not about the product, the object.
No.
It's about the feel that we want to possess the object because we want to enjoy the feel.
Yeah.
So the same feel we are not going to get again with the same object or with any.
Yeah. Because then when you are really mastering your inner core, the Ānandamaya Kośa, you don't need to go anywhere. You sit there and you enjoy. That possibility is there. But in between there are a lot of things happens, like you get the tendency of possessing something which is beautiful, and then the possessive tendency will be more, what you call, refined, not refined, that word is difficult. Anyway, refined, so that you can hold that things and then stay with that, and then if it is not possible, take it with you, always trying to possess. This feeling will come when you are there. And then when you are going back, then you feel you are lost something. Well, it's not with you. And then you wanted to have it, somebody else is jumping into the pond and running, swimming faster than you and take the flower and go away. You will get the feeling to really kill the other one.
So is it all because
Jealousy.
of the desire?
It is the desire. Root cause of suffering is desire, according to Master.
So it is there from the beginning of the...
It is there always in the in the makeup of human beings. It is there. So one has to actually explore, understand, get out of it if you want it to be peaceful. Otherwise,
It is higher desire also that we have the same.
all the desire for moksha is one of the greatest block. When you drop that, you are. But it is a big work.
ഇത് നമ്മൾ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ പറയുമ്പോൾ ഷീറ്റ് ഓഫ് കോൺഷ്യസ്നസ് വിച്ച് വെൽസ് അപ്പോൺ ജോയ് എന്നാണോ പറയാ അല്ല ബ്യൂട്ടി എന്നാണോ
Joy. Anandam, joy. So, this is modam. Joy, modam. Amodam. Then actually I think the word is pramodam. Pramodam, I can look. Pramodam. Heightened joy and celebration. These are the different sheaths of consciousness, and then it is associated with healing. So when you come to yoga therapy, this is the base. This is the base of yoga therapy. So,
We have a yoga therapy in this syllabus.
yeah, we have some little we study. This is the base of yoga therapy.
Once you touch this core, Anandamaya Kosha, without any object, through meditation, naturally this person will be detached from all the outside because he don't need any actions or something like.
You don't need any?
He may detached from the outside world and actions because for joy he don't need to do anything because he just simply sit and close it like that.
Yeah. That is it. Because we are searching joy outside, but with which you feel the joy is inside. That's Ānandamaya Kośa. So instead of jumping outside, if you can jump inside and remain there, you are in celebration. That is the exploration yoga was trying to do. When you see something outside, you get attracted, you feel joy, so you go there and you unite with that. You yoke with that. This is a normal plan. But in the yogic plan, you are seeing that Ānandamaya Kośa is inside, and instead of jumping outside, you are looking closer to that, and then you see the joy there, and you remain with the joy, like in eternal embrace, which is yoga. And so it is there. That possibility is there.
So, sir, all these yogis and like people like you or like, are they always in the Anandamaya Kośa?
And they are actually in a very calm state. That is the state, in a very calm state. So the condition is always there. The condition for entering into the joy is always there. The joy is stimulated from outside. And when it is coming without possession, you become one with that. Without the idea of possessivity in that, you become one with that. So anything that comes on the way of your living will become a feeling thing, not an intellectual thing. You start to feel.
Even if it is sorrow.
That is how it is. If you remain with sorrow for a little time, certainly it transcends. It transcends into joy. And that how it happens is, extreme suffering is coming, you are looking. You are looking, That means you're meditating on that. When you are meditating with that, you become the sorrow, and then it cannot be further than that. Then there happens a dissolution of that, and then the calmness will be shown. Then you will be in ecstatic celebration in everything. Even in anger, when you are looking, it's a very heightened, strong emotion. And then you are, if you can remain and watching, then after some time by practice, you get the dissolution of the anger and the relief comes from you. You start to feel the relief from the anger. And 2-3 times you work it out in this way that the anger cannot run over us. All emotions could be dealt with in this way. This is a yogic way of dealing things. So you have the base calmness. That is what the yogis are creating. They create the base calmness and they stay in the calmness. And there is no joy and there is no suffering, nothing. They stay in the calm state, not in Ānandamaya Kosha. They remain in the calm state, and then a butterfly comes. And the possibility of the yogi is he becomes the butterfly at that time. If something else is coming, he becomes that. And that kind of this is not for possessing it or for enjoying by being together with that, but this is how it works. When your mind is very calm, whatever is there is the only reality before you. Not even the idea of understanding it is working. Nothing. Only that. And this is pure perception. This kind of a perception is not ordinarily coming. Our perception is for knowing something. Here there is no question of knowing. And so in the world there is only one moment, and that is the moment of this butterfly, and you experience, you dance with the butterfly. Butterfly flies away and your dance finishes, entering into the calmness. And so it is. So the person, the final conclusion is, the answer to that is, we are not in celebration, but in calmness, in stillness. Any movement that happens in the stillness is the only movement at that time in your mind that you become that celebration. And that's the possibility.
I cannot understand full what you are doing.
But it is how it is. Like for example, if a strong emotion comes, we immediately get identified.
You get angry.
What
So
an...
you are telling to look anger. How do we look anger?
And as soon as anger comes, don't go to respond. You just don't respond, but you look at what it does inside you. Stop responding immediately. The anger, already the trigger has stimulated the anger within. Now the anger is within. So you're looking at it. You're not going to respond with the anger. You're cutting down the peripheral connections, and then you started to look at it and you stay there. It will increase. The anger will increase. It can be like very big anger. And you remain there, watching. And then the anger cannot go further. That is the dissolving moment of anger. Then the relief comes. From the peak of anger to no anger. That's the relief. When once you experience it, you get confidence. Once you do it, you get confidence. And then it will become easy for you to continue that. So you get mastery over it. It's very much possible. As a young boy, I could be very turbulent. Because I am small, I have to express in a mega way. So I can get control over my surrounding. And then it has gone actually. By observation, by deep observation, because it became such a troublesome thing. And there was one particular incident, and then I decided I have to intensely understand this and stop.
So, Ānandamaya state is also observed.
Certainly.
Sakshiyana Paramaya.
അതാണ് ഈ ആനന്ദം അല്ല. ആനന്ദം അല്ല is the final point. ആനന്ദം is ഒരു vibe അങ്ങനെ കിടക്കുകയാണ്. Settling of that vibe leads you to stillness. ആ stillness ആണ് yogic state.
External the external dependency will be
വരും.
and external
അത് stop
dependency
ആവും.
ഇല്ലാതാവും.
സർ, ഈ യോഗ തെറപ്പിയുടെ ബേസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഈ അന്നമയ കോശം തൊട്ടെടുക്കുക അങ്ങനെയാണല്ലോ എടുക്കുക. അപ്പൊ അതിൽ ഈ ഫുഡ് വരുന്നോണ്ട് ഫുഡ് കറക്ഷൻ പ്ലസ് ആസനാസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അത് കറക്റ്റ് നമ്മളെ തന്നെ അത് കറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ പ്രാണമയ കോശത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ പ്രാണായാമം അങ്ങനത്തെ സാധനങ്ങൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. മനോമയ കോശം വിജ്ഞാനമയ കോശത്തിലാണോ നമ്മൾ ഈ വിഡ്രോവൽ ഓഫ് സെൻസസും ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്ത് നോക്കുന്നത്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ആനന്ദമയ കോശത്തിലാണ് നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ ഈഗോ ചിത്ത് ഇത് രണ്ടും ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിനെയും നമ്മൾ കടന്നിട്ട് വിറ്റ്നസ് ഫോം
ആ കാംനെസ്സിലേക്ക്
ഇങ്ങനെയാണല്ലോ ഒരു സീക്കർ ഇത് യോഗ സൂത്രാസിന്റെ ഇത് വെച്ച് നോക്കണം.
അത് നമുക്ക് കുറേ ഡീറ്റെയിൽ അതിൽ കുറച്ച് നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. പിന്നെ ആ യോഗ അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇഫ് യു ഡോണ്ട് ഡു ദാറ്റ് വാട്ട് വിൽ ഹാപ്പൻ? അതാണ് വാട്ട് വിൽ ഹാപ്പൻ ടു അവർ സിസ്റ്റം ഈസ് വി ഗെറ്റ് സിക്ക്. അതാണ് പ്രോബ്ലം.
Like if a person is addicted to smoking, drinking, drugs, or perverted sex, or whatever it is, like how, like in a simple way, how can you like through here or through another, how do you like stop it?
ഇത് ബേസിക്കലി the best tool that is available is constant jagrata, alertness. The moment when we lose the jagrata, shraddha. Jagrata and shraddha. When you, it's a one-pointed attentiveness. And when that kind of an one-pointed attention leads to a state, like an attentive state. And when that one-pointed attentiveness comes, that becomes your quality. It is not you are attending something, you assumed a quality. You developed into a certain quality that is your person now. Whatever happens, you observe. So observation becomes not a difficult task. From attention to attentiveness, that is what happens. Always you attend. Not outside, you are attending the inside world. That is the key. That is the core point also. Always we need to attend what is going on inside. If we skip that, then actually you create a world. You create a world immediately. It was not the world which was there till that time, but the sources are there, and with that sources you create a world at that time. Then we started to live that world. There also our attention won't come because we have not got into the quality of attending. And it takes some time. We need to do some practice, regular practice, to get that attentiveness. And when it is there, whatever comes, you will immediately see it. So when a sadhaka gets into that state, then there is distance between what you are seeing and you, and the object which is there. You create the, otherwise immediate integration, some kind of a false integration takes place. So you need to create a space between this. A space will not be there, and you won't get the time. When as there is no space, you don't get any time to observe, because it comes, it takes you. You need to have a small time to enter, to look, and that will not be there due to the constant practice that we are doing. The constant practice is just getting attached. Anger comes, getting attached, then finding causes and reasons for this. We are not looking. And then it grows, because we are supporting it by finding justification, causes, reasons, everything. And so actually you're putting fire to the fuel, putting sticks to the fuel, to the fire. And then we cannot do. When it's growing like anything, you have no control over it. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ആ സാക്രിഫിഷ്യൽ ഫയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഈ സാധാരണ ഫയർ അല്ല. ഇവർ പറയുമല്ലോ ഹോമകുണ്ടം എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുമല്ലോ. A sacrificial fire is a different kind of fire, which is the fire of conflict that comes within you as a protective mechanism, that as soon as it comes, you understand the destructive nature of it, but you could see that, and that moment you are dropping the cause of the conflict into the holy fire of conflict. അതാണ് നമ്മുടെ വർക്ക്. It takes time, the regular practice, to immediately understand, not later. Later you can only analyze. അപ്പോൾ ഒന്നുമില്ല solution, there is no solution possible. It's gone. Already you jumped out and you demonstrated. Then the additional burden of justifying that demonstration will also come on you. Again, our life is going in this way. So that is the reason why we need to have a sharp focus. That is the Shraddhavan Labhade Jnanam. And this is a one-pointed attentiveness as a trait of you, as a character of you. So any small vibration happens, you will inevitably see that, because you have the Jagrat state of Shraddha, that nothing can skip you. Usually we skip in the beginning and then we started to look later. Then what we can do, we only justify things. I'm right. What I did was okay, good. But the problem is still there. And that is the problem. We take. Huh?
Is the will same? Willpower and the willpower and the this is the. അതും ഈ ജാഗ്രതയാണ്.
Will to observe. ആ വില്ല് അതാണ്, അല്ലാതെ ടു സൈഡ് എടുക്കാനല്ല, ഒരു സൈഡിൽ ചേർന്ന് നിൽക്കാനല്ല. അതാണ് നമ്മൾ നോർമൽ വിൽ. ഇപ്പോൾ നല്ലതിൻ്റെ കൂടെ നിൽക്കുക, to stay with the good, and for that the tendency is to go with the other part, and so you enforce power to stay with the good. അത് ഒരു plan, that is a well established plan, everybody is doing it. But the spiritual plan is not like that. You created the will to remind you at points of very disaster also, reminding you to observe. You forget it, and so you need to have that suggestion inside, active, that as soon as something comes, you can focus. Observation, not analysis. This is the core point. There was one master who was constantly saying this, that was Krishnamurti J.K. He was constantly saying this, not analysis, not synthesis, not making judgments, simple observation. അതാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ ടൂൾ. അത് ഒരാൾ കോൺസ്റ്റൻ്റായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിനകത്തൊക്കെ ഫോളീസൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവും. There can be some follies in that, but this is a basic tool, and that is a very difficult tool, though appear to be very easy. അതാ പ്രശ്നം. അതെടുത്തില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ
This is about how to handle the present. But we already have past the regrets or mistakes that we did that's accumulated inside us. So how to observe that, how to pick it out?
It's very possible.